Hey guys, Traveling Kimchi here. So today I'm just gonna do like a little bit of talking about the Sewol Ferry incident, which I'm sure, unless you guys have been living under a rock, you all have been hearing about. Basically, just to briefly recap, is a ferry going from Incheon to Jeju, which is a really popular tourist destination in Korea, was carrying about 400, 350 passengers. Sorry, I don't remember the dates. And basically it turned over, and most of those passengers were high school students, and only 172, I believe, were initially rescued. And for a while they were trying to the boat sunk, and so for a while they were trying to access the boat because they thought that maybe there had been air pockets that formed inside of the boat and there might be survivors inside. But it's been about a week, and so they're slowly giving up hope that there are any survivors inside the ship. And so what's kind of started as a rescue mission is turning into a thing to retrieve the corpses inside the ship fast enough so that their bodies are still well intact, because of course with the water the bodies are rapidly eroding, which is causing even more grief for the parents. So it's extremely sad being a school teacher in Korea. I teach elementary kids, but I still, things like this, like I just imagine looking at my kids and imagining it was them, and just like really, really breaks my heart. But basically in Korea, there's a lot of things going on because of this. A lot of activities have been canceled. A lot of festivals. There's a lantern festival going on right now before Buddha's birthday, and while the lanterns are still hanging, a lot of the actual celebration festivities have been canceled out of respect. Schools have been canceling their activities like field trips or anything with the teachers, like a teacher get together or a teacher dinner. Those have been canceled. My school had a field day this coming week, and they canceled that out of respect. And so it's kind of going through this idea. It's kind of this idea of like a country's grieving period. And I also went to a baseball game on Friday, and usually there's cheerleaders and stuff like that, but they didn't have any of that. It was just the audience cheering, and so it's basically the country's going through a grieving period together. And even in the subways when I go, the TVs in the subway that usually play advertisements are showing updates, like any updates that are new, they're showing. Anywhere I go in a cab, it's playing something about the news to having to do this. So, even people in Seoul, like, they're not directly related to it, obviously, but everyone's basically, like, just waiting for these kids' bodies to be recovered, and everyone's just following it step by step. And there's a lot of stories about people saying that they aren't directly contact, but they are so stressed out that they can't eat. They feel so much grief for these parents and stuff like that. So it's very much, the whole country is kind of grieving for these parents and for these children dying too early, obviously. A lot of the things that Korea itself is going through, Korea is starting. I'm probably sure you've seen it on the internet and Instagram and things like that. There's been these tying of yellow ribbons as a hope for a miracle, but now it's kind of just become like a way to symbolize their sense of grieving and a sense of hoping that the bodies will be recovered and so they can rest in peace and stuff like that. There's a lot of things going on with the Korean government where, a lot of Koreans are going through this kind of thing of, oh, I don't know if I can trust my government now, if my government's not capable of saving me in a period like this. And there's a little bit, questioning going on with the government, which is what America goes through when a crisis happens, like any of the shootings we've had at school. We look at our government like, how could we let this happen, kind of thing. So there's a lot of that going on, and, it's just what you would expect to happen is happening. And but one of the things that's really bothering me as someone who's reading the media and stuff is I'm seeing like a lot of articles that are written by the Western countries and looking at this incident and saying that most of the children that died because the Korean culture teaches its kids to be obedient to older people, because there's this hierarchy in Korean culture that says you should listen to your elders. And I can't be more pissed about that kind of statement. Yes, Korea teaches its kids to be respectful, to listen to their elders, but, it's been proven, like, time and time again, if your life is at stake, like, you're not gonna you're gonna like survive. You're gonna naturally do what it takes to survive. And these kids didn't stay on the ship in choosing to die because they thought they should listen to him. You know, they when it originally had a huge crash and the captain told them, "Oh, hey, you should stay inside. It's really dangerous." Of course, you're gonna listen to him. He's a freaking captain. Just like if a plane's going down and your pilot tells you, "Oh, put on the air mask," you're gonna put on the air mask. Like obviously he knows he's telling you this because you're thinking he knows the best way to survive. He's the man in charge. And I feel like even in America, if it was a bunch of Americans on the ship, and at first when the boat hit and he said, "Hey, everyone stay still," we would, and then we would continue to listen to him, and unless it was quite obvious the boat was being jeopardized and that we had to jump off. But a lot of these kids couldn't jump off because they were crowded in the hallways, and it was more that the ship sunk so rapidly, and you know when it goes down you're disoriented. It's not that they chose to stay on, it was that they couldn't get off, like physically. So I don't know, just seeing statements like that in the news and stuff like just really bothers me because the culture was definitely not to blame for all these children dying. So I guess they really bother me because these kind of articles just kind of make it sound like, well, oh, if they were like more westernized, they would have survived. And it's not the case. Even if this had happened in the West, people would have perished. And it's a horrible incident. And I mean, while we should be looking into what caused it and stuff, culture is definitely not to blame here. And so I think we should stop pointing the fingers at culture because it definitely has nothing to do with it. I don't know, it's just really sad and I don't know what to say about it, but I kind of just wanted to talk about it a little bit because it's definitely a big thing that's going on here. And it's definitely a sad thing that's going on here. So I guess continue to keep South Korea in your prayers, and if you have someone you love, just hold them really close tonight. This is the Traveling Kimchi. Bye.